gonna walk and talk. I am currently getting a little evening walk in. Tuesdays are a busy day at the Tatamy household between work and activities for the kids. So I figured now would be a good time where I had a little, not necessarily downtown, but I had a little bit of free time where I could get a little walk in and just kind of talk about the day, kind of touch the high points of things that I learned, things that I wish I would have accomplished today. What was the signal today? What was the noise? And just go from there. So first thing immediately, today I actually learned something new. I went to a school and took some photos of elementary kids, and it was makeup day and class photo day. So while I was doing the class photos, Elaine was knocking out all the makeups. So it made for a pretty good day at the school. And every time I go to the school, I normally try to find a spot where all the classes can leave their class, come to me, and then I'll take their photos, at some central location. So today was no different. When I got there, got to the school, we set up our makeup day booth, and we figured, hey, why not try to explore the school a little bit, see if there's some other opportunities around the school where we haven't photographed classes. We've done some in front of like the church. We've done some outside. It was kind of chilly this morning, maybe a little too chilly for the kids to be out when we first started. We've done photos in another little area in the school, I believe. But we try to mix it up so parents don't have to get the exact same rinse and repeat every year. Try to put a little creative spin on it. So once I got to the school today, I did my little walk, and I looked around what opportunities were there, what could be something new we could do, what's something that we can do to keep it fresh. And the first thing I noticed was there was a chapel in the back, and they had some teachers. They were doing like a Bible study in there, and I was thinking, this could potentially work for a spot. And after careful observation, I noticed that it was a blue, like, it was their old church, so it was real blue on the outside, like blue carpet, blue pews, blue chairs or whatever in there. So I was like, man, it's gonna be a color grade nightmare. So I had my Calibrite, it's like black, white, and gray. I had that with me, so it was no issue if we had to color grade, but if we didn't have to color grade, that would be so much better. And then the thing that I noticed was a lot of teachers spend countless hours in their rooms actually literally like designing it, making their own little themes to each room. So when I was there, I said, it might be a good idea just to bring the class photos into each teacher's classroom. So I know some teachers had like a flamingo style room, and then some of the other ones had like princess and like tulle, and they had like all kind of cool designs. So what we ended up doing is I actually walked to each class with a little wagon. I had a wagon, and I drug my little wagon behind me, and I popped up in each class, and I found where they had the board decorated nicely, and we did all the class photos in each teacher's class. And I thought, man, how cool is this? Because now the kids the students will actually have a photo in their class where they actually learned that whole year. So it was a pretty cool experience to try something new, something I've never done before. I think it was a great opportunity to be able to do something different. There's like a little dog grooming station or something there. It was a cool idea to do the photos a little differently this year, and literally like learn something new that I didn't know. And when I got in the first classrooms, the teachers were like, where do you want us to do it? Like, well, where's the best spot? And I was like, well, I have lighting. So I have my FJ 400 version 2 on a stand. And the first few classrooms I went into, I literally had a 7-foot parabolic umbrella and I was going into class, taking it in, setting it up, putting the diffusion on it, tearing it down, going to the next class, setting it up. Hey, what's up? What's up, Jerry Lee? How you doing? So I was going in each classroom, setting up this big old 7-foot parabolic, setting the kids up, taking their photo, then leaving the class, tearing it down, going to the next class, pulling my wagon, going back and forth. And I was doing that over and over. And then by the third class, that's good. By the third class, I realized that I could literally bounce the light off the floor because the ceilings in the rooms were about 9.5 foot, 10 foot. So I was able to point my FJ400 with just a little stock zoom reflector or whatever comes with to protect the bulb. I was able to push that in the roof and then get a nice shot of each classroom with that. And that actually worked out pretty well for us because we ended up learning that we didn't need a ton of equipment to make it happen. So next year when we go back to take photos, I have a C-stand that has some little casters that I could put under it. It's like a newer C-stand, and that's the brand Neewer, Neewer or something like that. The Neewer C-stand. I'm gonna put the light on the stand, and I'm just gonna wheel it from classroom to classroom and just lower it when I get in and then raise it when I get out. And that'll make the photos so much easier to like transition from room to room. So it was pretty neat to do it differently this year. And like I was saying earlier, the teachers did. Hey, what's up, Savannah? How you doing? Hey, NV Rody. What's up, Nicholas? What y'all up to? If y'all got questions about photography or anything, just drop them in the chat and I'll gladly respond. I'm doing my little afternoon walk. Like I was saying earlier, the Tatamies. Today is a busy day for my household. We got all kind of activities with the kids, so I get to spend a little time on here. But yeah, so it was cool to learn that I could go from class to class. And like I said, the teachers, they were kind of like, where do we take it? Where do we take it? And then they all had their rooms decorated so nice, so it was so easy to find a spot. And I thought it was going to be a major inconvenience after the first few classes I went to. But then I realized the teachers were actually really excited to do something different and take their team photos inside of their class. So I was all for it. They were all for it. And it was just a good time. And I can't wait for class photos again next year. We might continue to do some of the other schools like this, or at least the schools that do class photos on a different day, because it actually worked out really well and the teachers loved it. So, I mean, I liked it. Another thing that I've actually been learning a lot in my business is I start doing stuff in business and I don't realize that it's a thing. A lot of times I'll just start to look around and I'll see how the industry is moving or whatever. And we have been posting a lot of content on YouTube and Instagram, and we hadn't been getting a lot of traffic. Like, we hadn't been getting a lot of traction. We've been putting a lot of time into the content that we're creating. Elijah, you guys probably know him from other videos if you follow the channel at all. But what I noticed was we'd make these awesome videos, and then we were pretty consistent with it. We were doing, 1 to 2 videos a week consistently. We did it for about 2 years, and we were getting some good traction because content is evergreen, right? When we put it out there, it can stay up there and then people will find it later. It's not like it goes around or it goes bad. It's still relevant content that we were making. But what I noticed was we're spending a lot of money, not a lot of money, but we're spending a lot of payroll hours on the YouTube videos. And I believe it's just for a season for us to get good at it, a season for us to learn how to, or not good, but at least get better at it. And as we got better at it, we started to learn more. I saw Mr. Beast say in a video one time, he said, hey, don't ask me any questions. He said, make 100 videos and then come back and tell me what you learned. And we're right at that 200 mark. And he was absolutely right. Once you make your first 100 videos, you start to see a little bit of patterns and you start to see a little bit of stuff that you didn't know before. So as I'm rounding out to video, probably a little bit over 200, I'm learning that the videos matter, but the thing that matters the most is what happens after the video. And I was watching, I think his name's Stuart or Steven from Diary of a CEO, and he was saying earlier today, he said, what's the most important thing about when you create a video is what you do after the video. What did you learn? What did the analytics tell you? What did you see? Where did people stop watching? And where did people share? Did people comment? Did people ask questions? Those are the key metrics behind every video. So a few months back, I'm saying all this to say, we started doing something a few months back to where me and Elijah, we would sit down and we'd look at the content and try to determine what made this content successful or what made this other content not successful. We look at bounce rate. We look at how long people stayed in the video. When did they leave the video? Why did they leave the video? And after looking at the analytics and the videos, one thing that we noticed was a common trend where people would literally come into a video, they would watch the video, they would leave at a certain, like 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 7 seconds, 9 seconds. And our goal was we're getting a lot of 4-second ones. And we didn't know why we were getting 4-second ones. And we looked at a few of them, and what we noticed was there was transitions at the 4-second mark. And the transitions in some of the videos were just a little bit longer than what we probably needed them to be. So we'd have a video, it'd have a real strong intro, strong hook. People would be very interested in it. It would grab them. And then we'd have this major transition. And the screen would go black, and then it would pop back up to the music. And what we learned from that is we cannot afford to have transitions that cut at the 4-second mark. So we started adjusting the content to where at the beyond 5 to 8 seconds, we would start doing those kind of like cuts. And we made those tweaks, and then we saw our average watch time go from 4 seconds to 9 seconds, like over the span of like a couple of weeks. And then we went and we saw things that actually made people want to watch the video, things that would hook them. And those things were kind of like starting videos out with questions, or starting videos out with a little bit more tension in the video, or revealing a little bit of what's to come at the end of the video, at the beginning of the video. For the longest time, we were playing a little bumper at the beginning of every single video. And we noticed this is when we were building our first 100 videos, like I was saying, Mr. Beast would talk about. We were doing a little bumper, and it was a nice bumper that we would run before every video. But then we didn't realize that when people hovered over the bumper, they couldn't get a preview of the video because every video had the same bumper at the beginning. So then we started taking the first 30 to 60 seconds to do the best part of the content, and then doing our bumper after that. And we did notice a increase in viewership after making that little switch. So those are the things that I realized that we actually learned from making there's just a couple things that we learned from doing the first 100 videos. Little things like that you don't learn. It's kind of like going ride a bike, right? You can read all about it, you can study it, you can play with parts, you can change parts, you can air up tires, but until you get on the bike or whatever the thing is, until you get on it and you actually experience it and do it and just embrace it, you're never gonna grow with it, if that makes sense. You're not gonna see experience come until you actually do the thing that you have been studying or whatever. And for me, photography was the same way. Like when I first started photography, I had no knowledge of it. I knew where the button was to press it. I had a film camera. The camera was a great camera. Someone gave it to me and I rocked it out. But